Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say. Today we're joined by Richard, who should be clicking on any minute. I've just blasted it all the way back in rain because he wants to do it. Here he is, Richard. How you doing, mate? You all right? He's probably pressed mute. Unmute. So you muted yourself, pal. So unmute. In a minute. Unmute yourself. Not a good start while Richard's unmuting himself. Big shout out to Pokers International YouTube. That's our sister channel.
You know, mate.
Yeah, are you there, mate? Oh, yeah. Let me just give this shout out for this Zoom thing. In the month of November, we're going to be doing Zooms with quite a few people. Whoever gets the most views on a Zoom with me in November gets 100 quid. And that's out of Gary's back pocket. Gary Corn with me, pal. Right. How are you doing, Richard? Where are you? Dubai.
We in Dubai, mate.
Any good?
Yeah, fantastic. I love it.
Is it expensive?
Yes.
Well, no doubt you'll be blasting through your readies over there, then, kid.
It's expensive, mate, but there you go. Where in?
How you been?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we're loving it. Been here since Saturday, so just started really.
Okay, right. Let's get straight in then. What did you think to Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois? Where did it all go wrong?
Where did it all go wrong? Game plan, I think. I think game plan were wrong, wasn't it? Well, got to give Dubois the credit, haven't you? Dubois' game plan worked, and Joshua didn't know how to deal with it. He didn't have a
Yeah.
plan B. Uh, Dubois looked up for it all week. It did look like it were fake. It looked like he were genuine. He really fancied Tass. I still thought it were like 55. Before fight, I thought it were 55-45 in Joshua's favour, but won't be the first time I were wrong with it. So, yeah.
Do you think all the everybody being shocked and all that it happened got a little bit too much and on social media and that Dubois never got his flowers kind of thing?
I think I don't think everybody was shocked. I think that a lot of casuals were probably shocked because a lot of casuals probably won't have seen that much of Dubois. But like I say, I think that he was the underdog with the bookies slightly. So um, he probably feels a little bit justified now that it was such a convincing win. Don Charles was making a racket to reflect that sort of feeling, wasn't he? He sort of saying all week that he wasn't given the respect that they deserved, and we just wait and see. And he were right. For once, Don Charles were right.
Yeah, you think Josh will regret taking them 4 soft fights after the Usyk loss?
Do you know what, Russ? No, I don't think he will. I think you said this. If I've got it right now, you said they were talking about doing a world tour at one bit, weren't they, just to get some money in bank.
Yeah.
So let's say conservatively, he's banked 15 to 20 mil from them 4 fights, each of those 4 fights.
And he's banked
He's not
more.
going to he's not going to be looking back on 60 to 80 mil and saying, "No, I wish I hadn't done that."
Yeah. He do you feel though that they had to like protect him and they've been protecting him for a long time now?
I think they tried to ease him. I think they tried to ease him back. I think that he thought that for whatever reason, he thought the Dubois fight was very winnable, didn't it? I don't know what he were basing that on, maybe past sparring or whatever. He didn't think Dubois had probably got that performance in him. I'm not sure. I'm not saying he underestimated him, but I just think he thought it was going to be not easy, but he thought he was going to be able to cope with it. Whether it's storm it first 2 or 3 rounds and then come on. It didn't work out that way, did it? And I know you can say, well, heavyweights, if they eat your chin, you've got a good chance of going, which is right. That is correct. But he seemed to have lost all technique. He didn't know what to do when he were in trouble. He was dropping his left hand. He didn't know how to sort of move out of it. Well, Usyk got it right, didn't he? When Usyk said, what we're wrong, and he said, well, you can't, you've got to move your feet back, you've got to step back, you can't sway back. He was bang on money, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what went wrong there? Was that Ben Davidson, or was that just because he were concussed and he didn't know what else to do?
Well, look, I've been critical of Ben Davison because he looks about 15-year-old, doesn't he? And he's a young trainer. I'm a firm believer that a trainer don't come into his own while he's about 45-year-old, 50-year-old myself. There's that much experience to pick up, isn't there? And Ben Davidson's not really done anything with anybody from debut. He's had them all dropped on his lap because he says all the right things, does all the right things, and he's there. He's Johnny on the spot. He's here, there, and everywhere, isn't he? But look who he's worked with. Fury, Philly Joe, they've dropped him, haven't they? You know, Lee Wood don't look any better. Then McCormack's don't. So is either go to Ben Davidson? Is it just a phase everybody goes through? Like we had it with Adam Boo and then Slow Tony, Sims, we've had it with them. And everybody gets their day in the sun, don't they? Bombay Dave's had his day. Adam Boo, the Dark Lord, had his day. And Ben Davidson, if they get this wrong in the rematch, he'll have had his day because I think people will walk from him. What do you think?
I think that Ben Davidson's main asset, from what I can understand, is a confidence. He's a confidence man. Isn't he? I don't mean he's a con man. I mean he seems to be able to instill confidence in people, and that's where I think they like to get him on board because he's able to bull them up and make them feel 10 feet tall. I think the only person who that didn't matter with was Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury didn't get him on board because it was confidence. Because I don't think anybody trains Tyson Fury since Huey Fury and his uncle Huey and his uncle Peter. I think he's old enough now to he wants somebody to motivate him.
He
Just pick
wants a
little
mate.
bits up. Yeah, just pick little bits up and say, look, you need to watch out for this and that. You're just doing this and you're just doing that. You don't need anybody to show him how to box. So when he got Ben Davison on board, I think it was just because they were like the gel, and he instilled confidence and motivated him. That's Ben Davison's biggest asset, from what I can tell. It's not because he knows how to come up with 3, 4 game plans, study an opponent, tell the boxer who's Olympic champion and double world champion what to do. You?
I think it's an insult for people like the Gad to come out with things like Ben Davidson. He researches. No, it's and Bean as well. He researches each opponent. Well, do they think that trainers don't research the fighters' opponents? What? They're trying to reinvent the wheel. I think that were well, Ben Davidson researches every opponent. He's very thorough. That's the Gad. Look, of course you should be doing that. The training at the top end, the dining at the big table. Do you know what I mean, kind of thing? But don't try and reinvent the wheel. That's all I'm saying. I don't think Ben Davidson managed Stewart. You could have had Ray Arcel, Eddie Foote, Yank Durham, Adam Bove, the Dark Lord, Pat Barrett, Chris Smedley. The lot all could have been in that corner. Joshua's an overthinker, and I think what he's done since Ruiz done him, and I think going back to when Vladimir dropped him, I think he's done his own heading over and analysing things myself. Do you? 1 minute he wants to fight like Pernell Whitaker, 1 minute he wants to fight like Carl Froch. Why don't he just do his best, be the best version of himself? Try and invent an Anthony Joshua style, because what is his style? What?
I think it used to be. I mean, I think it used to be almost like he started with Dubois. I think he was a little bit of a supposed to be a little bit of a gunfight in his old days. He was a bully, weren't he? In his old
Yeah,
days, he was the person to intimidate people. That's gone, hasn't it? That went
yeah.
after Andy Reid's fight. He's not intimidated anybody, has he?
No,
Since
no.
maybe last couple of fights, like you say, soft ones. He intimidated what's his name, his old sparring partner. He dropped a couple of times, but other
Elenius
than
and
that,
Walling.
yeah. Elenius and Wally. But he's not intimidated anybody since Andrew Ruiz fight. That sort of like that exploded the myth, didn't it?
Yeah, do you think that Andy Ruiz were the first live one he fought of a similar age, similar pedigree?
But
Because he went to
I think
Olympics,
he didn't
didn't
know how to cope with an Andrew Ruiz. I don't think he'd ever been in with anybody who got that hand speed before. He might have been in with like cruiserweights and light heavyweights as for gentle spars who've got a similar amount of hand speed but are never going to really land a punch on him because it's sparring. But I
he?
don't think
And
he's
they've
ever
got
been
no
in with
pop in the
anybody.
punches.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
View.
I personally think that I believe Eddie Hills, right, when he said, look, Wilder's next for winner of Vladimir Joshua. They thought Joshua were going to write Vladimir off. They got the shock of their lives. After that, retreat, 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 retreat. They retreated, didn't they? After the Vladimir win, even though they won, there were chinks in the harbour, and they thought if Wilder lands on him, he'll be put on button moon. So I think all intentions were there, and Bean were there pushing it to Ilt. They put speaking of Ilt, they put Wilder in Hilton International at Wembley. Now is 7 years, 6 months ago, and he's still not been near Wilder. Do you know what I mean? They retreated from that, and I think since then they've tried to match him very, very, very carefully, very carefully.
Yeah, but also a Wilder thing, Russ. You know, our times change. It doesn't take long for a fighter to age like milk, does it? It can just happen literally overnight.
Yeah,
So, and this is a lesson. I mean, they don't need to learn a lesson. Tyson Fury, Wilder, any current heavyweights, even though those who haven't made it quite to top, even your Dillian Whites and your Derek Chisoras, they've made that much money out of game. Um, it don't matter if they've missed the odd fight. It doesn't because they just think, "Oh, I just make some money doing something else." Look at Chisora.
yeah. Well, Chisora's got what 13 losses, and he's just been done by pool up at the game, didn't he? But he's 13 losses and he's a lot of rounds under his belt. He's been knocked about, and he 41-year-old, you know.
Yeah.
So and he's still going strong, isn't he? But I don't know. What about the rematch, Richard? Do you think that it should happen? Turkey wants it.
Um, I think I want it as well.
Yeah,
I think I want it because it's either going to redeem him. It's either going to redeem himself, or it's going to be get him out of the way and then just move on and not even talk about him anymore as a relevant heavyweight.
yeah,
So I'd like to see it because I think that would be either like that is definitely it, or he pulls off a win. Stranger things have happened and he's back in it. So I'd like to see it. Who else is he going to fight? Because Fury's tangled up with Usyk. Who else is he going to fight?
Dylan White.
Dylan White seems like he's shot.
Could you buy into a Dylan White Joshua fight, or would it just be two lads fighting who've been knocked about and they've got a bit of beef and a bit of history?
I'd watch it. I'd watch it because of history, like you said. I'd watch. I said I'd never watch another Chisora fight, and I probably wouldn't. But would I watch a Chisora White fight? Maybe because they're both in the same. They both seem to be in the same situation, washed up, and it could be an exciting fight. The only thing I worry about with Derek, it could just be another one punch job, and could be scrambled brains time. That's what I think about that. But
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not that bothered about seeing White Joshua, but I would tune in. Yeah,
yeah.
I must put it this way: I'm looking forward to Wardley Clark a lot more than I would be at any of them fights that you just mentioned.
Are you watching that in Dubai?
Yeah, I think we're still in Dubai. So yeah, I went to the last one, didn't I? Can you remember? I went to the last one and I was really, really pleased with it. It was a fantastic fight.
Well, did you have its big freeze winning?
I did, yeah. Oh, sorry. Did I have it as Big Freeze winning
Wardley.
before the fight or on the night?
No, before the fight, you picked Wardley, didn't you?
No, before the fight, I picked Freeze just, but on the night, I thought that Wardley won.
Oh, I thought picked Big Freeze, and I thought he nicked it by 2 rounds.
No, I
Didn't
didn't.
he?
I thought
No.
Wardley just.
Well, they left it
We were
all in
fantastic.
ring.
It was a fantastic fight. It should
Left it
both be
all
proud
in
of
ring.
themselves.
And do you know, I just hope though that that wasn't Big Freezer's lot, and he didn't get old overnight because he's no young spring chicken, is he?
No, and I was thinking about this earlier this morning. I was thinking, who would I want to win? Because I like them both. There's nothing wrong with either of them. I'm not like massive fans, but they both seem like decent
Decent,
blokes
they're
to me.
decent kids, aren't they? Really? Yeah.
Yeah, they seem like decent kids. But I think the one I'd most like to see win is Fabio Wardley because I think his story is slightly better.
You mean because he's
If
come
he,
from white collar and whereas
yeah,
Freezer's an
if he
Olympic
went on
medalist?
to win a European, if he went on to European, what a story that is. A British and a European, that's what a story from white collar boxing. He's never going to get more than that, is it?
No, no, he'd get lit up if he fought at world level. Absolutely lit up. Big
Yeah, yeah,
Freeze won
yeah.
though. I just think he's a big old unit, man. And but like I said, Wardley held his own with him, didn't he?
He did. He's got that. He's a decent upright boxer, isn't he? But he looks like an Olympic amateur boxer that's turned over in his later years. That's what he still looks like. And nothing against him. I think he's a fantastic lad. But Wardley's just got that more sort of better shot selection, and he throws them in twos and threes, which is exciting. He has got a decent amount of power for a relatively small heavyweight. He's not a big, massive heavyweight, is it?
No, no, he ain't. It's hmm. Uh, how do you think it's all worked out for Eddie Hills and Bricktop recently? Do you think Bricktop's back on his perch and that he's put Eddie in his place?
No, I think it goes around in circles. I think they're both very, very, very lucky that they're riding the coattails of Turkey, aren't they? They're riding on that. They're riding those. They're riding. When I used to work in steelworks years ago, when people used to catch bus to work and they get a lift off anybody, and people used to say, "Bloody hell, you'd ride up back of a shovel," and that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Rather than catch bus, they'll just take a lift for anybody, and that's what they're doing. It's and they're benefiting from it. I think they're both benefiting it from it as much as each other. And I think that as regards, if there were just them involved in it still, I think Eddie would still have a little bit, still have the upper hand just because they generate more money. They just do. They've got more fighters. They put more shows on.
yeah.
Frank Owen's resurgence really has come up back of Tyson, hasn't it?
Oh God, yeah. Frank's resurgence has come back on back of Mick Hennessy and Peter Fury's hard graft.
Yeah, yeah. So, so yeah, I don't think he's put him in his place. I just think things come full circle, and they're both doing very, very well off it. They're probably working half as hard as what they were 2 years ago and getting twice as much money.
And the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of Joe Cordina's situation, Richard? Leaving Slow Tony and leaving Matchroom and People saying that money were offered for Stevenson fight, but he were getting half of money and other what they were taking half, and they still wanted to cut off his, and it's all a bit messy. But there doesn't seem to be any interviews with Joe Cordina on any platforms. What do you think?
That says to me that there's some sort of legal case going on.
Yeah.
They can't comment on it. I'm more interested on what's happening with Anthony Yard and Boxer. What's
Yeah,
happening
I was just
there?
about to say that's another legal issue that's going on. Bricktops and them are going at it in court, but there's a rumor doing rounds that Turkey's told them all to nip it in bud if they want to move forward.
Yeah, I can see that. That
Because they're going to need Yard, aren't they? Because light heavyweights are hotting up, aren't they?
yeah, I mean after I mean, do you think there's going to be a rematch clause between Bitabir from Bivol fight? There's got to
Well,
be,
you would
hasn't
have
there?
thought so, wouldn't you? But the belts will be getting scattered at some point because they never let them stay as one, do they?
No.
They need them
Yeah.
split up, don't they? These commissions because they
So
want to get
Yard
the
needs to
belts
be
out there.
fixed. And so again, I think he's a good fighter. He's an exciting fighter. I like him.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm hoping it mixed. But I could imagine Turkey saying that. That's what he's bringing to the table. And Rick Top will shut up as long as he's making money out of it. He won't be bothered. I mean, what I found quite interesting regarding Yard and Frank Warren situation. I don't know. I don't know if you've heard any rumours. I don't know what that situation is. But Warren genuinely did feel. I don't feel sorry for Warren. I never will.
yeah.
He is what he is, bless him. But I did genuinely feel as though it,
He
it
tried for him,
sounded as
didn't
if
it?
he'd
He
not
did
done anything
well.
wrong on this occasion.
Yeah. I look at it like this, right? Yard either fights really, really low end guys that are shocking, or he's in with roadman killers, right? Or tough domestic ones like the first Lyndon Arthur one. So looking at Yard's career, they're going into fights knowing they're going to win, and then when he's had the losses, they've gone in knowing, well, at least we're going to get paid if we don't win. That sort of attitude, and that to me looks like it's all been. I'm not saying this because he's not my cup of tea, but Lion Bar's on the windowsill. The trainer, manager, dream it, believe it, become it. It all looks to me like it's been geared for him to have his little slice at cake. And I think that maybe Yard could do a lot better than having him as his trainer manager. I do honestly, and he could maybe blossom somewhere else. Now they brought James Cook in, didn't you, if you remember, for that Lyndon Arthur fight, the rematch. Now I'm wondering if James Cook's took the full reins over now, but we're going to see, aren't we, on week of Saturday? But I like Anthony Yard. He's kept his mouth shut. I think he's been badly advised. They were offered the Boazzi fight, and they offered another one. What other
No,
one?
I'm not sure. I'm not the Robert Boazzi fight. I think that
And there were another one, £1 million. They were offered two at £1 million, and they knocked them back.
they didn't get offered Lawrence Cole, did they?
No, no, I forgot who it were. Lawrence Okolie's cruiserweight, now a bridgerweight world champion. They were offered
Yeah.
two fights and they knocked him back. So that's where we're at. Do you know what I mean? So he knocked good money back. So where do they go from here? Well, if they're in with Boxer are working together with other promoters. They're all going to want to be as one. They're not going to want to rock that turkey boat, are they?
No, nobody's going to want to rock that turkey bloke for as long as it lasts. That's what I'm saying
A
about they're
turkey
riding on the
boat,
coat.
not bloke. Well, we could call him bloke. Nobody's going to want to rock his little boat, but Chris Eubank Jr. rocked Bricktop and Eddie Hills and Callas, but Turkey came out, according to Ben Shalom, Adrian Mowell, and said, nip this in, bud, pop, pop, bang. And they did, didn't they?
They did, but I think it was Eubank who made the first move.
Yeah, because they've been sued before. But if I were Eubank, I'd have said, well, let's roll the dice. You'd only have to put Warren's previous up, wouldn't you, for all these suing issues they had over years? You know what I mean? Because he's had some silver medals, hasn't he, in court?
He don't lose money though, does he, Russ?
No, I think he's about 50 and 2, is he, or something, or 53 and 2.
Yeah.
I know he lost the Don King one and the Calzaghe one, but he folded Sports Network after the Calzaghe one, didn't he? After he lost
Yeah.
that. He'll have only
Yeah,
lost his court fees on that and lawyer fees. What were the other one? The Don King one, that were over 7 million quid, wasn't it?
yeah. He don't lose money though. He's a
No.
roadman killer when it comes to that suing game.
Well, when he left school, he worked at a solicitor's, didn't he? Bricktop. He only run around, but he'll have got a feel for it. And quite rightly so, he's an hard-nosed businessman, and you've got to be like that in this game. Look at Dennis. Some of battles Dennis used to be on legally all the time. I used to be, wow, I bet it cost you a fortune, Big Ron. And Usain got him on retainers, hasn't he? Every day, the solicitors on the phone for various businesses and this and that. They love a bit of litigation, don't they, boxing promoters?
Well,
Richard, who have you
contract,
got?
contract's a contract, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, listen, my argument is this: don't sign a contract, all you boxers out there. Have an handshake, and if they can't honour it, jog them on after the first mess up. Who you got, Bivol or Better
Before you
Be?
move on, if you don't mind me saying,
Go on.
that's a good point because we texted about this at time. That's the thing I didn't like about Chris Eubank, all this Cavasal and get me on a slave contract and all that rest of it. What a load of cobblers. There's a 35-year-old bloke. If you don't know what you're signing, go and wash windows or work in McDonald's. That's ridiculous.
He didn't know where to. He didn't have anywhere to go. But my argument is this, and I've had a chat with Frotch about this years and years ago when he left Hennessy because they had to pay Mick up, didn't he, in middle at Super Six. Right, Carl said, "Look, I've got an handshake with Eddie Hearn, and when he don't deliver, that's when I can go." So, and Eddie delivered. They have 7 fights. 7 fights they had, didn't they? So, Glenn Johnson, Ward, Booty, Yusuf Mack, Kessler, 2 Groves fights. 7 fights, went 6-1. So he delivered every time. But fighters nowadays, why do you need to get in bed with a promoter or just work with them? And if they deliver, brilliant. The first time they can't deliver, because it's like they're auditioning for you to fight, isn't it? If you're good enough, they'll want you on the shows, right? Now, if they can't deliver what you want, you move on. Don't be tied to them, because if you're tied to them and they can't deliver, and you don't agree to something. Hey, listen, many a time I'm not going to say many a time I've seen fighters not agree, and I thought, well, I know what's coming now. They're just going to be parked up. They're going to be parked up, and that's what happens. That's what happens. It's just that's the nature of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know. So, but don't have a deal with these promoters. If the promoter says, well, if you don't have a deal and don't sign one, we don't want to work with you. Well, don't work with them. Go on to the next one, because if you're good enough, somebody will be there to sign you. If you're not good enough and you're signing these deals, you might be a bit vulnerable and insecure about how good you are. Now, maybe you bank
Yeah,
coming
that's
to
exactly my point. Whether
yeah.
you're good enough or you're not good enough, if you've got an agreement with a promoter, you've agreed it. No matter if it's an handshake or a contract or whatever, don't start whinging about it afterwards.
So I look at it like this, right? I forgot somebody will be able to tell me this. I forgot my train of thought. I know Boazzi. Hang on a minute, I'll have a look on here. Boazzi were in mix for yard. I'll tell you other one. It'll come to me in a minute. It'll come to me in a minute. Uh, Anthony Yard. Box right. Right, let me just give a look at these fighters here, right? Well, Yard's ranked number 10 in world on box, right? Right,
Number
Bivol,
10.
eh?
Number 10.
Number 10 on box, right? So Bivol number 1, Better Be number 2, Benny Beaters number 3, Morrill number 4, Boazzi 5, Callum Smith 6. I think it was Callum Smith. Because Vosdyke 7, Ramirez 8, Jesse Hart 9, Yard 10. I think it might have been Callum Smith. I don't know, but I'd like to see him in with Willie Hutchinson.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight.
Yeah, there's fights for Yard out there. There's plenty of fights, but I think it was Callum Smith. Right, I couldn't be sure
That's
on that, but I know one of them was Boazzi, but I think the other one was Callum Smith. But I'm not 100% sure, but I know Boazzi one more. So if they've knocked
that
it
Willie,
back, eh?
that Willie Hutchinson fight could be a right war, couldn't it?
Well, Willie Hutchinson, in my opinion, looked fleshy against that Boazzi, but he had the skills to beat Boazzi. He had him going at some point, and I think experience cost him. And I think if he'd have had flex, he might have won that. I think so. If he'd have had
I think
flex.
that's right.
So, and I don't give Flex much praise. But if Flex had been in his corner, he'd have been in shape and he'd have been there for 12 rounds and he wouldn't have looked so fleshy. He was blowing out in his ass after 4 rounds. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is, isn't it?
I'll bring another one.
Thank you.
No, you've got it made you out there, Richard. So, you're going to go for Bivol, are you?
No, I'm going for Berbatov.
I'm going to go for Beta Beef on points.
I'm going to go on late stoppage. I just hope he's not just too old, but I don't think he is. I think he's just got enough.
Will he 40 in a couple of months?
Yeah, 39 now, yeah.
He's 40 in January or something, isn't he? Something like that. Okay, right. I'll let you get off. So, have you got your Liam Cameron, Ben Whittaker? Who you got with that?
Say again.
Liam Cameron, Ben Whittaker.
Whittaker all day long.
Yeah. All right. You got Wardley and it's Big Freeze.
Ooh, I think it's going to be same again. I think Wardley.
For a draw first time.
No, but I mean, sorry, yeah, you're right. But I think I go for Wardley.
Okay. And Eubank fighting some guy from Midland Oak. He'll win that.
Yeah, not so interested in that. Eubank will stop him in middle to late rounds.
Okie dokie. Well, listen, Richard, you'll get sunning yourself over there with your little honey, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care,
I'll
mate.
try my best. It's difficult, but I'll try.
Okay. Oh, you've got your boat delivered, haven't you?
Yeah, it's we only went out it once, so it'll be wrapped up. When I get back, it'll be wrapped up until next spring. That.
So you're going to come out your weekend retreat and just walk down to your boat on a morning, eh?
Only on a weekend, yeah.
I'll be expecting an invite. Pop, pop, bang.
You've got one. See you later.
Cheers, brother. Bye.
See you later, mate. Bye bye.
See you, mate. Bye. Well, that were Richard. Women love him, men want to be him. That's about it, really. I better get downstairs and help Chris Smedley. Give him a cuppa. Fix a bit of tile grout. Go on, pop, pop, bang. Go on, peace out. And by the way, November, anybody who comes on a Zoom, 100 quid for anybody who gets the most views. All right. Courtesy of Gary out in his pocket. That's out in his pocket. Go on. Books are open. Porkycorner@mail.com. Bottom left-hand corner if you want to come on. All right. If you want to test yourself against the pork in a debate, that's good for you, all you trolls, you know. That goes for trolls as well. If you want to sit like that one when me and Andy had a freeway one, if you want to sit, right, in a mask, in a mask. If you want to sit in a mask, right, and hide behind it and make you sound look stupid, you're more than welcome. We love a good laugh on here, trolls. Hey? All right. Booyaka, Pokers International YouTube. That's our sister channel. We'll jump over there and see what you think. Well, peace out.